Ding. Are we live? We've hit the quadruple zero, which means we are live. All right, yeah, there we go. That's what's up. Now we are counting the time that has elapsed, so I know that we're on the board. What's going on, people? Happy Friday night. I appreciate y'all dropping in to check on your boy, the man about tech. He is here. He is live. He is ready to go. Gonna have an interesting conversation last night. Basically stemmed off of something that a conversation that was kind of happening this morning. But yeah, it should be an interesting conversation. Might have a guest. We will see what happens with that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the intro so we don't waste too much time. And we will rock and roll. We will rock and roll. So, current time, it is 5:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, which means you are in the right place. You are on the right YouTube channel, baby. Yes. So, for those of y'all who are familiar with my procedures on this YouTube channel on this given night of the week, you know what's about to happen next. But for my people who are new here, or for those of y'all who somehow find the replay of this live stream and you just happen to listen on to it, this is the part of the stream where you're going to want to turn your volume down. Because if you don't turn your volume down, I will not be held liable for what your neighbors think about you listening to some loud dude on YouTube. That's on you, not on me. Let me repeat that. That's on you, not on me. So don't come running to Viper when your neighbors look at you like you funny. Like, dude, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Who is that? Because Viper warned you. Viper warned you. Now that we got the disclaimers out of the way, and I can go ahead and I can get into the meat and potatoes of the live stream. Let's get this intro started. Let's do the roll call. And let's discuss. Woo! And the last warning to turn your volume down. Do it now. You got the warning. There it is. Your last warning. You see the meme. It's flashing on your screen. This is your last warning, y'all. This is it. It's your last warning. All right, let's go over to work. Woo! Let's go. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech. And we are live! Welcome to Friday Night Fight, baby! Woo! Oh, yeah! It is that day again. We are back. We are live on YouTube, baby. Woo! Oh, yes. Now, before I get started with tonight's festivities, let me see who I got in the chat tonight. First on the list, my enforcer, Genosis, is in the cut. What's up, sir? How you doing? Oh, yeah, we got my head of security here. El Jefe Review. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, baby? We got Adamoji up in here. What's up, Adamoji? How you doing, baby? What's going on? Jason C is in the cut. What's up, Jason? How you doing? And we got the Norwegian sensation, LVA is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? And that seemingly is the end of the roll call. So, clearly, I did not blow through 18 names. So shout out to all of y'all that are choosing to lurk tonight. Y'all don't want nobody to know that you watch Viper. Because there's clearly more than like 5 of y'all that I called. Oh, now they're coming. Here we go. Wisdom Empire is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? Chantel is here from Down Under. Hey, Chantel. How you doing? Good to see you. What is going on? But again, shout out to my lurkers. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know I'm happy for y'all to be here. Appreciate y'all hanging out. So, this morning, as you guys know, I host a weekly conversation with creators. Actually, not weekly. I host a daily morning conversation with fellow creators called Coffee Talk. 3 days of the week it's on Clubhouse. The other 2 days of the week it's on Twitter. And this morning, a very interesting topic kind of came up. And it's the topic of the iPhone not being as good as it used to be. And this was an apropos discussion this morning. Oh, wait. We got Evan in there. What's up, Evan? How you doing? Good to see you, man. Oh, wow. First timer. How did you find me? I don't know how you found me, but man, appreciate you being here. Barry Johnson, the engineer extraordinaire. What's up, bro? How you doing? Good to see you, Barry. Appreciate you dropping in. But yeah, so we were talking about the iPhone not being as good as it used to be. And I put out a tweet earlier today, and the tweet that I put out earlier today said something to the extent of so before context here, I have both the iPhone 14 Pro Max and I have the Galaxy S23 Ultra. As you see in my hand here, I've been using both of these phones on a daily basis. And my tweet this morning said that right now I am having a better experience using this S23 Ultra than I am the iPhone 14 Pro Max. And the reason why I'm having such a better experience with the S23 Ultra is because it seems to work faster. It works better. It's smooth. It's fluid. It works when I need it to work. With the iPhone, sometimes when I'm trying to swipe up from the swipe down from the bottom or whatever, I have to swipe like 4 to 5 times before the iPhone responds to my touch. Then we've had these recent Apple service outages. The weather app for Apple wasn't working for like 2 or 3 days. And then I told you guys I've had issues with HomeKit and the HomeKit responding to when I'm trying to turn on and off lights. That one kind of messed up, but then Apple did an update and it kind of fixed itself. But been having issues with HomeKit. I've been having issues with the phone swiping correctly or not responding to my touch, and just other little knick-knack issues that I've been having with the iPhone lately. That is not very iPhone S. The whole point of iPhone and how it came to prominence is the whole mantra of it just works. Well, this iPhone on iPhone 16 has not just worked. It's been buggy AF. Now, I know that every now and then you get an iPhone software release that is buggy and in different things, and you go through those phases and that happens. But it seems like, especially with iOS 16, it's been more buggy than usual, and it's just not have been a iPhone experience. The S23 Ultra, on the other hand, has not been buggy. It worked like it's supposed to. It literally just works like it's supposed to. It responds to my touches. I don't have any like crazy outages with services and different things like that. I can check the weather, do all the things. Apps work fine and all that stuff. So my experience with this phone has just been better, in my opinion. So, conversation this morning came to people were talking about how a bunch of creators, not just myself, we kind of feel like the iPhone software experience has kind of gone down a little bit. It's not what we are accustomed to. And to be honest, the iPhone software experience has been kind of trending on the decline for a couple of years now. It's kind of funny because we've had bigger iPhones since the iPhone 6, when Apple decided to make bigger iPhones. We've had these bigger iPhones since 2014. And I have been complaining probably as long as I've been a creator about Apple's lack of using the increased screen real estate on their iPhone Plus and Max models. So till this day, we still don't really have software, in my opinion, on iOS, that takes advantage of bigger iPhones. And it really just, I don't understand it. This is Apple. These are supposed to be the masters of the user experience. But it kind of feels like they really haven't been paying much attention to iPhone lately, in my opinion. Now we know that Apple has a bunch of other products that are not iPhone. They've been working on audio with the HomePods and the AirPod Max and AirPods. They got the Apple Watch out there now. They're going heavy on this mixed reality headset that it might come in a few weeks, maybe or not, or next year. We don't know. So Apple has a bunch of different things they have going on, but it seems like the iPhone has kind of been neglected, and it shows in the user experience. Like, I'm not saying it's trash. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's not what it used to be. It's not as good as it was in the past. Maybe that's because the resources that they were once allocating to iOS, maybe they're not allocating to iOS as much these days. I don't know. But there's definitely been a decrease in user experience on the iPhone in particular. Now, on other Apple products, I don't really know if I personally have noticed a decline. Like, my MacBook still works the way it's supposed to work. My iPad experience, I mean, it's iPad OS. I mean, you all heard me talk about iPad OS like a bunch of times. So, I mean, that is what that is. But with the iPhone, as much as I use the iPhone and how often I use the iPhone, I have noticed, and it seems like other people have noticed as well. Let me know in the chat if you guys have noticed this. We have noticed that the iPhone user experience is kind of on a decline and kind of trajecting downwards. Bruh, I don't understand it. Like it's kind of weird because regardless of everything that Apple has going on, the iPhone is still their cash cow. The iPhone is still your biggest money maker, and to kind of be neglecting your biggest money maker like that, I don't know, yo, I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Mim, what's up, man? How you doing, sir? Good to see you out here. We got D Mim, Wayne Train in the building. Appreciate you. Tech for your needs. What's up, bro? How you doing, bro? Good to see you out here. El Jefe said, Janosen firstly, Janosen says, agree, a decline in user experience. Even Janosen says it's a decline. And then he said, I wouldn't say the iPhone isn't as good as it used to be, but the consumer expectations are higher now because of how polished the product is. Yeah, but I'm talking about basic stuff that should work that is not working. Again, if I have to swipe down 5 times before the iPhone responds to my touch, that is not iPhone. That has nothing to do with expectations. That's just the iPhone not doing what it's supposed to do out of the box. And again, the weather app. Why is there a service outage on the weather app? An app that most of us probably use on a daily basis. That's not expectations, that's just quality control falling through the cracks. It's the weather app. It's nothing special about it. I click on it, it's supposed to tell me the temperature. Whereas lately, I click on it and it tells me nothing. It's like, where's Waldo? Where the hell's the number? There's nothing there. So these things that I'm talking about is not expectation. It's just Apple dropping the ball in their quality control on their software side. Like, what is really going on? It's a thing, man. It's a whole thing. El Jefe says, at the time Apple begins to move away from iOS and bring something truly new to the table? I don't know. Like I said, the iPhone is still Apple's biggest cash cow, so they can't really just abandon it per se. But they better figure out how to try to allocate some more resources to iPhone, because what's happening right now ain't it, man. It is not it. Janosen says, no, wait, Vibe, the S23 Ultra for you has to have better performance with third-party apps than iOS 16 third-party. As far as app performance goes, it's been the same. But I'm talking about the first-party experience on Apple. Again, my swiping from the top have been finicky AF. The weather app not working. Other little nuances on the iPhone that aren't working. CarPlay. I was trying to use CarPlay today, and for whatever reason, it wasn't working. And I have old school CarPlay where you have to plug it in before your car recognizes it. I had to plug in the iPhone, or I had to wait for maybe an hour after I started driving for CarPlay to kick in. CarPlay wasn't even working, and CarPlay usually always works. So these are things I'm talking about, just little things that you expect to work with Apple and iPhone. They're not working. Things are just they're dropping the ball, Jonathan. They're dropping the ball. All right, hold on, give me a second here. But they're dropping the ball. I don't understand, man. I don't get it. Things that should normally work on iPhone are not working properly, and it really is just creating a unfavorable user experience. And it ain't like it used to be. Apple got competition. This S23 Ultra is actually the better phone. You could say that the Apple ecosystem is better, and the Apple, the seamless working of devices together by Apple keeps them in the game. But if we're talking about devices in a vacuum, this phone in a vacuum is better than the iPhone. And it's kind of funny, and I think I talked about this before, but it's kind of funny to me that people are just now giving Samsung their flowers for making a better phone than iPhone. Bro, Samsung has been making better phones than iPhone for at least the past 5 years, okay? I can take it all the way back to the Note 9. The Note 9 was better than any iPhone that was out there at the time, okay? The Note 10 was better than any iPhone. The S line of phones are usually better than iPhone for the most part. Samsung has been making superior phones over Apple for a while. It just didn't start this year. It started years ago, bro. Y'all just are waking up to it now. But it really gets highlighted when you have simple things that iPhone used to do well that for whatever reason Apple is now dropping the ball with the software. And I don't understand. Again, this is the latest iPhone on the latest iOS. I should not be having these problems. I could understand if this was an older iPhone trying to run newer software. Okay, maybe you got a point. But this is iPhone 14 Pro Max running iOS 16.4, and I'm having swipe issues, The weather app wants to work when it doesn't want to work, even though I know they fixed that. And other things that are going on. The CarPlay not working. The newest iPhone on the newest software, and I'm having problems. How? How? What is that? That's not iPhone life. That's not Apple life. What is that? I don't know. So there are some quality control issues that iPhone have been having lately. And again, I'm not the only one who feels this way. We had a few creators in the coffee talk this morning talking about how they feel like the iPhone experience has been kind of disintegrated a little bit. It's kind of declined. I don't know. It's funny because now we're all talking about this mixed reality headset that Apple's supposed to bring out, but somebody brought up a good point this morning, right? We're talking about Apple bringing out this mixed reality headset when iOS is still in shambles. iOS isn't even 100% right. So if you can't get the basics right with iOS, what are you going to do about this brand new OS that you're probably going to have to integrate into this this mixed reality headset? You're probably going to have to invent a new OS. I think what they call it, a reality OS. So you got this brand new OS, reality OS, that's going to power this mixed reality headset. Is it going to work? Is it going to do what it's supposed to do? I mean, again, if you can't get iOS right, and you've been doing iOS for what, over a decade, and if you still can't get iOS polished, are we really supposed to believe that this reality OS is going to come out of the oven smooth AF? Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know. So that's interesting. Whenever Apple does release this mixed reality headset, will reality OS be good? Will it be bug free? Will it be passable? At this point, I can't say with great confidence. I don't know. I just don't know. All right, Jason says Apple needs to hit a reset like they did with iOS 12, but Apple seems to have many irons in the fire to focus as much as they need on iOS. I think that's part of the problem. I feel like Apple is now at the point where they might be trying to do too much, and it's coming at the expense of iPhone and iOS. And when iOS and iPhone is still your biggest moneymaker, that's going to show up. That is going to show up. That is the problem. So I guess the question then becomes, what does Apple do to address this problem? And really, it seems to me that the only thing that they can do is maybe get more people devoted on making iOS the best version of iOS it can be. Because right now, it is not. And we are on iOS 16.4. So we are on the fourth iteration of iOS 16 or whatever. And it is still kind of buggy a little bit. So, yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. All right, Mem says it's because everyone else has stepped up their game. Apple is just doing what they do. Wow, damn. I mean, y'all should have heard my man Valley in the coffee talk earlier this morning. He drove the bus all over Tim Cook, yo. He's like, my man Valley was like, listen, I'll be glad when Tim Cook is gone. I'm like, damn! I'm like, what Tim Cook do to you? How did he hurt you, bro? Bro, my man was attacking Tim Cook this morning like Tim Cook hurt him or something. Like, damn. I don't know. I'm not that down on Tim Cook, but these recent iOS woes are definitely noticeable, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. What? And that yo, that look at this. Genosis says that his Pixel 7 Pro has been his main and made his iPhone 14 Pro Max a coaster for a few months. Okay. So now I'm curious, Genosis. Why is it that you stopped using your iPhone and you kind of moved over to your Pixel 7 Pro? Is it because of what I've been highlighting about the iPhone experience being less than, or are you just really enjoying the Pixel 7 Pro that much? I mean, it's a great phone, don't get me wrong, but I know you to be an iPhone user primarily. So for me to hear you say that you kind of put your iPhone down and picked up the Pixel 7 Pro, I got questions, yo. I got questions. Viper got questions for you, Genosis. Why is that? Don't you find that suspicious? Don't y'all find that suspicious that an Apple user is using Android full time over his iPhone 14 Pro Max? Don't you find that suspicious? I find that suspicious. We got questions out here, yo. We got questions out here. We need answers out here. We need answers, bro. 504's in the code. What's up, 504? How you doing, baby? It's your work, but not like it used to. Hey, I'm just saying, yo. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Yeah, man, they kind of fixed it. It was an issue for a few. I mean, it was even being reported on the tech blog that it had been it was some type of outage or whatever. But Apple has since fixed it, so you might not have noticed it. But yeah, the Apple Weather app was not working properly for like 3 days. It was a whole thing. I just thought it was something wrong with my iPhone. But then I saw the article about other people experiencing the same issue. I'm like, oh, So it wasn't just my iPhone. Okay, damn. So okay. All right, you notice that he has touch input response problems as well. But I've also had that problem with my 13 Pro Max from last gen. Oh my! So this is not just this is not even a new thing for you. You've been dealing with this for the past 2 iPhones, bruh, bruh, bruh. Somebody call Craig Federici. Get Craig on the phone. Get Wozniak on the phone or Joswiak, whatever the name is. Get these boys on the phone, yo. 2 years in a row, and we having these problems on iPhone? Oh, bruh. Oh, bruh. Yo, Steve Jobs would be pissed. Steve Jobs would be pissed right now, yo. Yo. Steve Jobs would not have none of this stuff. He would not have none of it. Ah, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Adam Moji says that iPhone is falling behind in hardware, software, and AI, but that equals some nothing. Let's see. Are they falling behind in hardware? I mean, Apple's always. I mean, I don't know if I would say they're falling behind. They've always been behind in hardware, but Apple, if they've been close enough to still be relevant in the hardware, but they've always been behind. They just are never far behind, but they've always been behind. So I don't know if I would take that with a grain of salt or whatever. But software, they're definitely behind in software. I mean, let's just call it what it is. iOS could be better. Android 13 is working 1,000 times better than iPhone iOS 16. So yeah, that's definitely happening. And AI, so we're not even going to talk about AI. As far as I'm concerned, iPhone's not even in the conversation when it comes to AI. iPhone is not even in the conversation when it comes to AI. So we're not even going to talk about that. But yeah, the ecosystem keeps them afloat. That ecosystem is keeping them afloat. Apple Pay, Apple Card, AirDrop, iMessage, they're serious out here. It's serious. Just those 4 things alone can keep Apple afloat. But bro, how long can the ecosystem hide your flaws, bro? You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig, bro. I'm just saying. Yo, the tech preacher, easy computer solution. What's up, bro? How you doing out here, man? Good to see you. Hopefully you are doing well, my dude. What is up with you? What is up? Let's see. What else? Who else we got up here? Let's see. Yo. Bray Gray says all Apple has to do is spend less time on lock-in features and more on software quality assurance. Yeah, that would be nice. It really would be nice if they can give us a more stable software experience. iOS 17 is coming out in a few weeks. We shall see how that is, although Apple has changed the way that they are allowing people to access that. So it looks like they're really locking down the third-party sites like beta profiles and things like that. So you really will have to be an Apple developer to test iOS 17. None of us nerds are going to be able to test it like that. Although I'm pretty sure we'll find workarounds. I mean, we always find workarounds. Like every time they think they close one door, another door opens, bro. So we shall see. We shall see. All right. Sean tells us, I am currently adjusting to my new Pixel 7, jumped off the Samsung ship for the first time in 10 years. Wow. So you are everybody on the Pixel fan on the Pixel wagon. Okay, hey, the Pixel 7 Pro is an amazing device. I love that device. It's a great device. I just have more fun using my Samsung. But the Pixel 7 Pro is legit. Still probably take the best pictures out of any phone for sure, especially selfies. If you want a selfie, the Pixel 7 Pro is the way to go. All right, what else we got up in here? She said she chose the 7 just because she wanted a smaller phone, and seriously, the price was too good. Oh yeah, the value of the Pixel 7 for the price and what you get is a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. Prince said Apple pushing fake reality before split screen. Oh god, let's not even talk about Apple and their lack of caring about actual true multitasking on iPhone. We can't get into this, bro. We not get into this because Apple not getting into it. So why we gonna get into it? I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, Brain says, I hate to say it, but the reason Samsung is more recognized now is because of improved social media quality, and younger people are seeing that with the flip. Bro, don't tell that to Max Weinbach, because if you ask Max Weinbach, Samsung and Android still cannot touch iPhone and social media. Now, I don't really pay that much close attention to tell whether or not iPhone is better in social media. I know some of the apps do run better than Android and things like that, but as far as social media goes, they both do what they need to do, in my opinion. I don't think one is inherently better than the other. But I wouldn't be surprised if iPhone did have an edge. I mean, again, iPhone apps are naturally better than their Android counterparts. So if you tell me that the iPhone social media experience is better than Android, I'm not really going to dispute it. But Android social media apps work just fine. They work well. I've used them all the time. So I don't really have an issue with them. But Hey, it is what it is, I guess. All right, since Samsung have more divisions and doing more than Apple, maybe they need more manpower to fix these issues. I mean, we are talking about a multi-trillion-dollar company. If they need manpower, they don't got a problem getting manpower. I don't know if that. I mean, that should not be a problem for Apple. Now I know a lot of these tech companies have been going through recent layoffs and things, but we are talking about Apple. Apple is a multi-trillion, and that's crazy to even say, but they are a multi-trillion-dollar company. There is no way that we should be talking about Apple not having enough manpower to do stuff. Like, that's just blasphemy in my mind. So they better figure it out and find the manpower. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Spend that money, Tim Cook. Spend that money. If you need manpower, spend that money. Let's go, bro. Let's go. Like, for real, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about, bro? Ah. All right, Memphis. A lot of people felt this way about Tim Cook. I'm actually looking forward to that change as well. Damn, damn. Bro, what did Tim Cook do to y'all? How did Tim Cook hurt y'all? My goodness. Listen, man. It's Tim Cook. I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Tim Cook and Steve Jobs, he's not. Steve Jobs was a visionary. Steve Jobs had the foresight to create products before we even knew we wanted them. Like, he was a product guy. Tim Cook is not a product guy. We know that. But what Tim Cook has done for Apple over the past, what is it now, 12 years, cannot be understated. Tim Cook he may have had the greatest 12-year run of any CEO in the history of mankind. What he has done for Apple in the past 12 years since he took office has been nothing short of incredible. But let's be real, like you all are highlighting. He's not a product guy. He's not a visionary. He's not gonna be the one to kind of innovate like that. Apple needs to find another Steve Jobs like person that will lead them to their next round of innovation. Now, I'm not going to completely discount Tim Cook because he did bring us things like the Apple Watch and AirPods, so he's not completely devoid of innovation. But I won't really say that he innovated in those fields because those fields had already existed. Apple was just catching up late, and they got in the game late on those fields. But Apple, they're not really innovative like a Samsung or an Apple or something like that. So we're never going to talk about Tim Cook being an innovator, but he's done amazing things for that company, and Apple would not be where they are today without Tim Cook. So kudos to him for getting them to where they are. But now you got to take Apple further. If they're going to continue to compete in this competitive tech space, somebody has to be able to take Apple further. They got to take Apple higher. So will that be Tim Cook? Probably not. It seems like he's on his way out anyway. But whoever they get to replace him better be a product-focused guy who can have the vision to take Apple to the next level as far as product innovation, because that's really what they need over there at Apple. They need product innovation because they have not had that since Steve Jobs left. So if they can get somebody at the helm who is a product-centric guy, they'll be okay. But right now, they're still fine. They got trillions of dollars in market cap. They're fine, but they need to figure it out as far as making their product better and moving in the right direction as far as what product to develop next. All right, Elvin says the screen reaction on my beloved 14 Pro is annoying every single day. Have to type the screen multiple times and it just doesn't feel like 120 hertz. Oh my god. See, this is what I'm talking. I am complaining about the touch responsiveness. Janos is complaining about the touch responsiveness. Elvin is complaining about the touch responsiveness. Why are all of us complaining about the touch responsiveness of an iPhone? It's an iPhone. Like, it's supposed to just work, bro. You got multiple people in this very chat complaining about the touch responsiveness of an iPhone. Whew. Yo, if anybody from Apple is listening or watching, you need to take notes. I hope you're taking notes. You should not have multiple people complaining about basic functionality of an iPhone. I'm not talking about anything like complex. We're talking about touching the phone and it doing what it's supposed to do and it not doing that. The touch responsiveness is not there. What the hell? Actually, let me see if I can show you all in real time what the hell's going on here. Now watch. When I try to show this in real time, it'll probably work perfectly. All right, so we're gonna do that. Oh, yeah, now I want to work that. All right, let's see. So let's see. We're gonna turn on. Okay, put a Face ID on here. Okay, so now, see, hold on. Let me go back. All right, so we got here. So we got Okay, so now I went to work. See, you don't know. Sometimes you don't know. So try it again. Okay, now I went to work. Sometimes I don't know, man. Sometimes I wonder about the thing, I don't know. I don't know. Yo, of course we want to work on camera, bro. Of course we want to work on camera. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, bro. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But you know what? I've talked long enough. We have a special guest tonight, Me and this gentleman just launched our brand new podcast last night called the Tech Rant Podcast. I think we're going to do it, make it a weekly thing. Y'all know him as the biggest troublemaker on the internet. Let me bring in my man, Trent Tech is in the building. What's up, sir? How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Okay. All right. So I saw the comments of our podcast, and they said that your audio is low, and now your audio is low on this stream. So we need to turn up your gain or something over there.
Yeah, hold on.
We got to turn him up, y'all. We got to turn him up. Because he's quiet as a mouse over there. Yeah, we can't have that. Working it out, y'all. Working it out.
We're working on it.
Oh, there we go. Now that's much better. Much better. Okay, now I can't hear you. What the hell? What the hell? Oh, what is happening right now? What is happening? He was
testing
good.
1, 2, 3.
All right, now you're back. Okay, I can hear you now.
Better?
Yes, that's better. That'll work.
All right.
I'm like, man, he went mute for a minute. What happened?
Life happened.
How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. Finally off, taking it easy. Made some food. I'm good.
So, in the first 30 minutes that I've been chatting since you got here, I've been talking about the kind of the thing that we were kind of talking about this morning in Coffee Talk, the iPhone, and how it kind of feels like Apple's been neglecting the software. I think I remember. I think I talked about the point about how my touch responsiveness on the iPhone isn't where it needs to be. I have to swipe like 4 to 5 times before the iPhone responds to me swiping down from the top to get to the control center or the notification shade. Just different things like that. And then the weather app was out for 3 days. The weather, it wouldn't show the weather for like 3 days because of that outage. So just little different things like that where it just feels like the iPhone user experience has been kind of on the decline.
Yeah. Here's the weird part about that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had many issues with my iPhone.
Okay.
I really can't think of the last time I had an issue with it. But at the same time, like I said before, I haven't updated my phone in probably about 2 or 3 months. So whatever version I'm on, it's fine. Wait, is it still low?
No, you're good. You're fine.
Okay. I was looking at the comments, but El Jefe a fool, man.
Oh yeah. No, Bray. I'm not saying that they need. I'm not saying they're going to have another Steve Jobs, but they need like somebody that will product focus like Steve Jobs, because Tim Cook can only take them so far. But they need a product focused CEO to steer them in the next direction of technology. Because Tim Cook is not it. As good as he is not it.
Hey, Tim Cook is shareholder focused.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And a lot of people, I mean, you heard the Coffee Talk this morning. Like our boy Valley kind of threw Tim Cook under the bus this morning. It was savage out here, yo.
All right, I'm gonna step into the arena. Let me come out here and defend Tim Cook.
Oh, okay, I'm listening. Let's go.
Now, okay, there are some things that Apple has done under Tim Cook that I necessarily didn't agree with. However, we have to ask ourselves the question: if somebody like Steve Jobs, because we're not ever going to replace him, if somebody was like Steve Jobs and thought like Steve Jobs and went the route that Steve Jobs would want to go, will we have certain things that we have right now? Would Apple, and I remember this because everybody and their mom used to tell me this. Oh, Apple leads the way. Apple never backtracks. Apple never makes a mistake. And we all remember when those MacBooks went from having all the ports to no ports to coming out with MacBooks that had 2 USB-C ports and pretty much alienated a whole community of people. It was the only reason why they were buying MacBooks was the video edit, and then had dongles and had this and that and all that or whatnot. Now, somebody could have looked at that and said, "Hey, it's Apple. Deal with it." Uh, Apple actually made some strides and they reversed some things and they gave us some stuff and they brought some stuff back that honestly, if Steve Jobs would have canceled it, we'd have never got it back. He just would have looked at us and said, "Oh well, kick rocks." You know, uh, we have been living in Apple heaven for like the past 5 years straight, just about. Um, it all started, honestly, I believe, when we went to the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Well, you had the 15-inch, you got the i9, it was a little rocky, but once they started doing like that whole transition in the M1, Apple took off. Apple started doing all these crazy things and whatnot. We got a lot of stuff back. Apple cut prices on stuff. Oh God, Apple cut prices. Who'd have thought? And there were so many things that went down. Even even I don't think under Steve Jobs, it would have took way longer for us to even get larger phones because everybody back then was just so dead set on having like this, tiny iPhone 5. Whereas, I think unfortunately, after Steve Jobs had been taken out of operations and, life happened, that's when they're like, all right, we're going to start pushing towards what some of these other companies are beating us over the head with. Like Samsung was just dragging us in every single commercial about all the things that they were missing and all the things that Apple wasn't doing. And then while Tim Cook was there, over time, Apple caught up to a lot of stuff that people used to hate on Apple for. The Apple that we have today has a lot of stuff that people were clamoring from Android, and it's still adding stuff. So, yeah, Tim Cook may not be an innovator or whatnot, but we're pretty much got a lot of stuff that honestly I don't think Steve Jobs would have done.
Oh yeah,
Steve Jobs would have looked at his dead in the face and said, "Screw you, pay me."
I mean, the Apple Pencil is proof enough of that, right? I mean, would we really have had an Apple Pencil if Steve Jobs was here? Probably not. Hey, look who is in the
And
chat. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, man? Yeah, I mentioned that earlier before you got here. I talked about how Tim Cook has. I mean, again, he's not Steve Jobs, but I did give him credit for the AirPods and the Apple Watch and things like that. So I'm not saying Tim Cook hasn't led Apple into new directions and things like that. I'm not going to throw him under the bus like some other people are throwing him under the bus, but I kind of feel like Apple, they really need to like whenever they replace Tim Cook, I kind of feel like they need to replace him with a product centric guy and not just an operation guy. They need somebody who could take them into the next direction as far as technology goes.
look, let me be the first tech person to come out here and say this. Innovation is overrated. It's overrated. It's overrated
Explain
because
yourself.
because we get bored with everything.
Mm.
No matter what it is, we are literally at the level where we will be bored. And then we will continue to question the company like why would they do that? Why would they make sense? Every single thing a company tries, whether it be Samsung or Apple or Google, everyone runs to the front and they're like, it's not innovative enough. It's not going to change the world. It's not going to do this, do that. True innovation isn't something that you just have on tap. And it's something that, like I said, everything that we have right now, people are bored with the best phones that have ever existed in the history of humanity.
That is true.
You can get flagships. You can get flagship level phones, stuff that we used to look at and say, "Oh, we couldn't get these. We could never get our hand." For 500 or 600 bucks. Like that's how far ahead we've gotten with stuff. And it's all because somebody doesn't have like an exciting headline or, oh, this doesn't excite me anymore. Well, guess what? When you live at the top of the mountain long enough, you get bored and you start to forget what it's like to be down at the bottom with everybody else. Because when I sit here and I show people these flagships, I show people the S23 Ultra that everybody swears it's boring and you might as well just buy last year's phone. I show regular people this phone. They're like, oh my God, that's amazing. You can do all that. It has this, that, or whatever. So it's a little bit different, but it's at the top. Same thing with the iPhones and all the camera stuff you can do and all the crazy stuff. you're just bored because you've had it so good for so long that you want innovation just so you can get a brand new kick. But even if we got innovation, we would literally sit here and we would say, "What next? What next? What next?" Okay, Apple comes out with AR. Let's say it blows the socks off of everybody's faces or whatnot. The first year, everybody's happy and everybody's great. The second year, everybody's like, "Well, you came out with the glasses last year. What are you going to do this year? What's the brand new thing? You got to take it bigger, higher, faster." And Samsung did that for years. Samsung every single year brought it every single year, and people wanted more and more new stuff every year. People wanted more. They wanted a new design every single year. Samsung gave it to them. Then it became boring. They wanted the biggest, baddest screens ever. They wanted 120 hertz, 1440p. Samsung gave it to them. Even the Asus phones that have like all the specs on earth, and people are crapping on them because they don't have like the best camera. So I see plenty of examples of companies doing as much as they can every single year. But if you do that long enough, it gets boring.
Hmm.
Every if you take some of this stuff that we come out, oh yeah, I'm so bored with this phone, and you go hand it to somebody that's never had that phone before in their entire life, they're excited about it. They love it. Half the time, people don't even understand why we're mad. They're like, "Why are you so pissed off?" Oh,
Yeah,
well, Apple's not giving us the innovation. Who cares?
I think the biggest thing with that is that what you just brought up is the perspective of tech people. Tech people who buy these phones every year. So of course you're going to get bored every year when you're buying new phones every year because the phones are not going to change much year over year. But for people who keep their phone for 2 or 3 years, when they get that upgrade, then they're like blown away because it's a world different experience from what they're coming from to what they're going to get 2 or 3 years later. So they're happy. It's just us tech nerds that are kind of bored with the technology because we're buying this stuff every year. But the other thing that we have to remember, as you know, Trenton, is that we tech nerds are in the minority. We are not the majority of the market. So even though we're more vocal about it because we are passionate about technology, we probably make up 5% of the market to to be real. So it's interesting when we think about it like that. Also, okay, why are you muted again? I can't hear you. You're not coming through. You are talking into the wind, my dude. All right, while we get Trent back, all right, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Look, Opus is not liking my microphone. Everything's on here, but whatever. We'll go with the MacBook or whatnot. But okay, here's something I will call innovation. No one will call this innovation, but I'll call it innovation. I can pull my S23 Ultra out of my pocket, and it can connect to a TV wirelessly and have a whole separate desktop operating system that operates through the air.
Yes. Yes.
Go back 10 years ago and tell somebody you could do that. I'm going to take my phone out. I'm going to have a full desktop operating system on a TV across the room that I can connect a keyboard and a mouse to and do a full presentation of whatever, play videos, play games, or whatnot. And I can still use my phone separately with no wires at all. Oh,
Yes,
well,
Jonathan. Yes.
well, Trent, only a couple of people are going to do that. It's boring because you don't use it.
Yeah. No, Jonathan, Dex operates wirelessly. It's literally wireless now. They've innovated, they've iterated on it. So Andrew says, if tech nerds are the minority, then why do they act like they aren't when they're reviewing devices? I mean, you know how it is. We got egos out here, bro. It's ego. When we making content, we want to feel like we're being heard. So we talk like we being heard. We kind of project like we are being heard. But I think if we are real with ourselves, then we know that we are the minority in the market. What I'm trying to say, like in reality, I even heard you talk about this before, Andrew. We are the minority, and I think we know that. We
Yeah,
are a very small percentage of the market. So,
Dex operates wirelessly as long as
yep,
you have, I think, at least either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth around. And somebody could look at it and say, well, hey, you got to rely off of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. It still doesn't require a wire.
yeah,
When Dex first came out, you had to have like this stand. And even back then, just, hey, you're going to take your phone, put it on a stand, connected to a monitor, and you basically have a desktop. Everything that you would kind of have like on a tablet or mobile, it's on there. It can run exe commands.
Crazy.
Like, that's crazy. It's so much stuff that phone could do, and it gets overshadowed because what do people focus on every year? Bezels, screen to body ratio, the camera hole, does it have curved or rounded edges? Like all of these things that really don't matter at all. You know, the phone has plenty of features. People are starting businesses and creating industries with phones. If that's not innovative, what would be someone's definition of innovation? Does it have to like completely transform everything we do? Because like I said, it only comes along ever so often. Like you're not going to have innovation every single year. Like
Yeah.
you're not.
So it's funny that you just said that because Andrew was he just said my point is more the year-over-year comparisons that tell people a new device is bad. Most people don't update annually, so who are we talking to? I have talked about this recently in more recent live streams and things that I kind of feel like we as tech reviewers we kind of do a disservice to the people that are watching our content because a lot of people that watch our content aren't as tech savvy as we are, and they're not buying phones year over year. But we talk like we're talking to our fellow tech nerds, and mostly we are, but the market, the majority of the market, as I alluded to earlier, are not people that are buying these things every year, and we have to address the people that are not buying these things every year. Listen, the iPhone 13 to 14, it's not a great jump. It's just not. But if somebody come up from an iPhone 10 or maybe an iPhone 11 and they're getting an iPhone 14, it is a major jump. And there are a lot more adult people out there than there are people going from the 13 to the 14. And that's just the reality of the situation. And we as tech reviewers have to start acknowledging the people that are coming from iPhone 10s and 11 because there are much more of them out there than there are people coming from a 13 to a 14. There's just not that many people doing that. We are in the minority. We're the one buying these things every year. The majority, the market, the average consumer, I know y'all hate that, but the average consumer is not buying phones every year. They're just not doing that.
I'm gonna turn this damn autofocus off. It's driving me nuts.
It loves your microphone, my dude. It loves your microphone.
All right, we good now?
Oh, yeah, you should be good. Also, Andrew brought up another interesting point earlier. Let me see if I can find it. He said something to the extent of Apple can't hire a product-focused CEO anymore because of the politics. And I just thought that was an interesting comment. Now, while I definitely know that there's a lot of political stuff that goes on with these large tech companies, I mean, we've seen it a lot over the past 10 years. It's still a tech company. I mean, they make their money from tech. I mean, yes, they have to lobby and they have to talk to politicians and different things like that. But at their heart, they make their money from technology and have a technology that consumers will gravitate towards. So I don't know if I agree with them not being able to hire a product first CEO. I mean, you can still have people in the company that could deal with the politicians if you need to do that. But at the heart of that company, they are a tech company and they need to focus on technology and making the best possible consumer facing technology more than they need to worry about politicians. Because if you can't get the technology right, it ain't gonna matter because nobody's buying your stuff. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. And like as much as people say, hey, what? Yeah,
We have a visitor, y'all. We have a visitor. Everybody
as much as people talk about, Tim Cook and stuff, like I remember when people were just getting their jollies off because we had a new product like every 2 months for like almost 2.5 years straight. Like that whole pandemic, Apple just owned like that whole area. It was just new stuff after new stuff. People were like so excited, and a lot of people, I mean, like Apple fans or whatnot, they were like really happy to like, yo, I've never seen this much stuff come out back to back to back to back to back to back to back, you know. And I think if a lot of stuff were to go under like the extreme perfectionism, we wouldn't have had certain things. I think the only thing that Apple canceled was AirPower. That was it. They
Yeah.
didn't cancel anything else. They brought out everything else. Tim Cook did the whole Apple Silicon transition. Now, I would consider going from Intel to M1 to being innovative. That's innovation, right?
Yeah, I mean that's Apple stepping out on their own. Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, the fact that people were taking MacBook Airs and hanging with full decked out i9 15-inch MacBook Pros or 16-inch, I don't know which one it was at the time. But the fact that they were able to do that, even if it were for 5 minutes, was hilarious. Apple won up themselves. They made
Yeah,
their own products look bad with what they came out with. So to
yeah,
me, that going from Intel to M1 system on chip, whatever it is, that was the innovation point. That was the point that we were all supposed to throw our hands up in the air and say, "Hey, we have innovation now."
yeah. So here's my thing. Um, I agree with your point about Apple being innovative in certain ways. But right now, we are about to enter into a brand new realm of technology. Or actually, we're already entering it, but it hasn't really fully fleshed itself out yet. And what I'm talking about is AI. AI is practically invading everything now. And if you want to be at the top of the tech food chain moving forward, you need to figure out a way to successfully integrate AI into your company mission and figure out how to integrate it into your product successfully and on a mainstream consumer basis. Google already has a strong foothold into this. Amazon kind of does with Alexa, although I mean, Alexa could be better, but she's still a strong foothold. Apple is lacking in this area. I don't think anybody on this call or this chat will argue that Siri is doing big things in the AI department. I mean, Siri is okay, but she is well behind Google and Amazon and Microsoft and everything else that's happening with AI. Apple will need to figure out how to better put more resources behind AI moving forward if they want to remain competitive in the tech space. Um, we can talk about ecosystem all we want to the cow come home, but AI is here and it ain't going anywhere. And Apple will need to figure this out sooner rather than later if they want to remain competitive because AI is here to stay. It is not going anywhere. Companies are just going to find more and more ways to integrate AI. They're going to get more innovative with it, and it's just going to take over in ways that we probably can't even imagine yet.
We got time. We got plenty of time.
Are you
AI.
sure? Are you
I'm
sure?
gonna tell you this right now.
All right.
AI is here, right? We got
Mm-hmm.
AI. We as the tech people know about this. It's gonna take a minute for people on a large scale to really get into using AI. We still have people that can't use Google Maps correctly. And I'm just saying this because I'm in IT and I've watched. This is no offense to your mom or dad or anybody else in the audience, but I've just watched regular users just go with the flow. Like we're the power users. We're the ones taking this to the next level. If anything, it'll probably tie to maybe entertainment or some sort of convenience, but it's not going to be like every single person's like, I need AI to for this phone. Like, no, they're just gonna be like, okay, I need my phone to be a little bit better than it was last time. And Apple's gonna have enough time to where if they don't do anything with Siri, and let's say she's just bad, when they finally do something with AI and then they integrate Siri and then she becomes so much better, then everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, Siri is so much better. And people are gonna appreciate it so much more because it's such a big leap. I mean, right now the Google Assistant is amazing. It is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. But if you pluck somebody off the street that has a Pixel that got it for $349 because it was on sale at Best Buy and they wanted to give it a try instead of another phone, are they fully using Google and AI to the capacity that we talk about it? They're not. They're still just opening up their phones. They're taking pictures. They're letting the computational photography, which is also AI,
Right.
do the photos for them. They're just pressing a button. If anything, this technology is just going to make people lazier and not think about stuff even more and make them more dependent on it. But it's not going to be like this massive thing like, hey, you got AI, you don't got AI. Ha ha, I'm going with the AI. Like only we are really thinking about that. We've had what you call it for over 2 decades, almost 30 or 3 decades now, I think. We've had Windows. I remember when they were putting computers in school. This is going to be the future. You're going to need to know all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. I still have a job because people can't figure out passwords. I still have a job because people can't hit Control Alt Delete and close a program. I still have a job because someone's going to look at the technology and say, I don't want to deal with that. You do that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's, yeah, you still have like the younger generation that still wants to learn, but there's still gaps in people actually wanting to do stuff and wanting to learn. It's like either it's going to do it for them or it's not, or they're just going to accept whatever they get because they don't want to learn it. But I don't think it's going to be like this. Oh no, it's going to be now, or Apple's going to feel like app. You would think that a not just $1 billion company, but a company that's hundreds of billions, if not trillions, of net worth or whatnot, would have a plan for its customers. I don't think it's as simple as, hey, here's Trent that makes $40,000 a year helping out help desk people. I'm going to tell this $1 trillion company, yeah, y'all, this is what you need to do, right? The you know, like Apple has plenty of data. They know their users. They know me probably better than I know myself at this point.
They should.
So they're going to move according to what's best for their business and their customers and what's advantageous for them. Just like any other company. And any little hiccup, any little flaw, whatever, we'll laugh at it. We'll make fun. We'll say Apple's lacking. Then they'll catch up and we'll be celebrating them months later. Just
Yeah,
like,
I'm not saying that Apple has to like get on it immediately, but I kind of feel like the industry is shifting in AI direction, and Apple is going to need to do something to join it. Now, I think Andrew had mentioned that they already kind of been working on things like Stable Diffusion and stuff like that, and that's all good and well. But Apple going to have to figure out a way to try to come up with something that is appealing to the mass consumer as far as AI goes. ChatGPT is not there yet, but I mean, ChatGPT, what it has the record for most amount of downloads, the quickest amount of downloads for an app, or whatever, like 100 million users, whatever. So AI kind of catching on. I mean, you saw what happened on Twitter when those AI apps came out with the people submitting their pictures and they turned your pictures into AI. I mean, Trent, you got experience with those apps. Everybody with their mama was on that. So
I'll say this. Yes, people are going to want AI, but it's not going to be this thought of companies are just going to magically dry up and lose
oh
business
no,
if
no,
they don't, because that's where everybody's going with it. Like everybody's like, this has to take place. This has to happen within the next 1 to 3 years. Otherwise, you're just, yeah, if you're like a tiny company and nobody knows you and you don't have a customer base and you're not already selling stuff and you already don't have like cash put away, like Apple can really take their time because they have a lot of advantages. I'm not saying that they don't have to develop. I'm just saying like the sense of urgency that I see out of a lot of people, like God forbid if Apple falls behind for 6 months, fall behind for the next 4 years and they'll be fine.
now it's interesting that you say that because now this is a crazy comparison, so everybody what I'm about to say, just take it with a grain of salt. But I'm just giving an example of what probably would never happen, but it could. Everything that you said about Apple having time and they won't fall far behind. What if BlackBerry thought that same thing? They probably thought they had time to adapt too, but before you know it, they were pretty much left in the dust, and that was the end of their company. I'm not saying that Apple's in a position like BlackBerry. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when you have that hubris and you think that you can't be touched and you have more time than you do, but the world start passing you by, then you look up and you're in trouble because you didn't take it seriously enough. So again, this that's a drastic example, but it can happen.
I don't think that Apple looks at it like we can just put out shit and people will buy it. Like, I think they can look at certain things and say, hey, we can put out this and people aren't going to care, or we have to put our energy into this because this is what we're seeing, this is what we're feeling, this is what we think our customers are going to go towards. And they have plenty of brains to put behind that. You know, even though Tim Cook is the head, they have plenty of engineers and smart people, and they've invested in themselves.
Oh yeah.
And I think they'll be okay. Like I said, I just think that from our scope, from pretty much almost most tech reviewers have never worked in the inner workings of Apple or worked behind the scenes to where they saw what was coming down the line, and we're just kind of reacting to either news, rumors, reports. Like, we're not seeing what's going on. Now, if we saw behind the curtain and we saw every single thing that they were doing and we knew, that'd be one thing. But like I said, a lot of our stuff is very, very reactionary. And we're guessing a lot of the times.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, most of what we do is speculation, so I can definitely agree to that. Jonathan brings a good point here about the urgency of rolling out Bard and being early is not necessary. Chat GPT is making all the early mistakes for Google and the rest of them to be okay for them to take their time. Oh yeah, yeah. Chat GPT is definitely producing a lot of data for these companies to try to figure out how to do AI correctly and stuff like that. So yeah, I agree with you, Trenton. This is not going to happen overnight, but I do feel like this is the gradual shift that the industry is undergoing, and we are in it. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take before we get to a point where somebody puts out a mainstream consumer product that is AI focused and that's going to take over. It's not a matter of if. It's only a matter of when this is going to happen. Is it going to be 5 years, 10 years? Hard to tell. But my guess is that it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
I look at it this way: when it happens, it happens. Okay, as long as I've been alive, that's where we've been. We at every single like 5 years throughout my life, like every 5 years, I go back and I'm thinking about what were we talking about 5 years ago that we were supposed to have already, and people swore to God if we didn't have it, the world was going to come to a halt. I still remember back when people were like, yo, flying cars of the future. We're all going to be the Jetsons. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. There's no way possible that we're still going to be driving around on all four wheels. This has to happen. And this was like back in the 90s. Like, people were predicting so many things for 2000, 2010, even 2020. You know, Skynet was supposed to already happen and all these other things. And I think it's just, we kind of get to a point to where we want things before they're even ready. For whatever reason, we could be bored, we could just maybe love stuff a little bit too much, but we want it now. We want it as in today. But then when we finally get stuff that we've been wanting and we finally get it, we're happy for like 5 seconds, and then it's just like, well, what now? What's next? Because even when AI becomes mainstream, or let's say we get the robots, there'll be something. Well, this robot sucks, or we need to go beyond this, or this robot needs to do this, or I need to plug a cable into my brain, and you guys need to feed me fantasies at a certain amount of money, or like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think we get to a point to where we just look at stuff and like, yo, stuff used to suck. Like, if you look at some of the stuff we have now, and then you go back 10, 20 years ago, you're like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So whenever it comes out, it comes out. I'm tired of spending money anyway.
This guy. You know, Michael actually brings up some good points about AI. One of the things that will hold up AI is the ethical and moral ramifications of it. He said he has ethical and trust concerns and the ineptitude of the user to understand how the function of AI is meant to serve. And we talked about a lot about this when Google debuted AI in their Google I/O. I think it was 3 years ago, right? They debuted the AI that they use to like take phone calls, and so the ethical concern back then was, wow, the AI is so good that it can actually imitate being a human being on the phone. So how will you know if you're talking to a human being or an AI? So there are a lot of moral and ethical questions brought up when Google unveiled that back in the day. And now we see with all these deepfakes and any fake voices and different things like that, we're still talking about the moral and ethical implications of AI even today. So there's definitely going to be a lot of questions around that as far as how it's going to be implemented into the mainstream. But I think that its use cases and its potential will probably outweigh the moral stuff when it's all said and done. But I think that the moral and ethical implications will definitely hold up the development because people are going to have questions that need to be answered before it can really be rolled out on a grand scale. So we'll
Yeah,
find out.
I think it's something that will, I think it's something that you just slow roll, just like everything else. You okay, hey, we're developing this technology. Let's work on it. Let's see what the benefits are, the pros and cons. Let's see what the pain points are. Then let's go fix those issues. And then let's go back and look again and let's see what are the issues that we're having after we fix that. And then let's let it mature. And this is kind of going back to my whole innovation thing because we're kind of on this whole 4-year cycle with features and stuff. And I'm just gonna like put this according to phones. So let's say a phone comes out with something or some feature or technology or whatever. It's new. Since it's new, we know it's not perfect. And
Hmm.
since it's new, we're happy, we're excited about it. And then we're not even to the point to where we enjoy it. We're looking forward to next year when they make it better, which is year 2. Year 2, the product is no longer new, but it's still recent enough and it's still within its infancy to where if you make it just better, we're still happy than we were last year. Then you enter into year 3, which is like that you're at the top of the mountain type of deal because you make it a little bit better. It's a little bit better, not still not new, but it's a little bit better than it was last year. Then you get to the 4th year where they finally have perfected it. And it's like now we're looking for the next new thing because now this is so good or this is perfected that you can't take it any further. And now we're bored again and we have to look for that next thing. But I feel like you have to go through the same process with AI. Like, hey, AI is new, right? Everybody's talking about AI. We have to figure out what are the problems, what are the implications, what are the limitations. Then we have to improve it. Then we have to make it better. Then we have to look at it again and make it a little bit better. And then you have to get to a point where it's good. And then once it's really good and it's mainstream and nobody thinks about it, people will be like, let's go back to the new thing now. So that's just how I see things go. Like we're never going to be satisfied.
I mean, if we really want to be honest with ourselves, are humans ever satisfied with anything? No. But in a way, that's good to be never satisfied because that's how we progress. I talk about this a lot in the context of being comfortable with disagreeing with somebody. Because if we all agreed all the time, there would be no progress. There would be no update. Nothing would get done. There would be no progression, no evolution, no nothing because we would be too busy agreeing with everybody. But when you have disagreement, when you're, as Trenton would say, quote unquote, bored, then you have the motivation and the will to improve things, and that's how things get better. So, in a way, it's kind of good that we are bored because if we do get bored, then we have the motivation to go out there and make something better than we have right now, and that's why we keep having these improvements. But I kind of agree with your point where sometimes it just gets a little much because people complain about every single thing, no matter how good it is. They'll find something to nitpick and complain about. But again, that's how we evolve, man, and it's all about evolution.
Yeah, and just it's a it's one of these things when you travel because I've lived in the US for most of my life, but I was also in the Navy and I traveled to other countries and whatnot. And when you see you see the first world problems and the second world problems, then you see the third world problems. There's so many people out there that would kill, literally walk over your body to be in the position to even have access to the stuff that we have access to. I mean, even right now, I'm on a fiber connection. There's people in the US that still don't have fiber. There are people in other countries that don't even have 3G internet, which is something that we would be offended if we were stuck using 3G. People in other countries don't even have 3G, don't even have running water or technology. They're like, yo, we would take your technology and be so much better with it. So that's where part of it, I'm just like, all right, look, I understand where people can feel some type of way, but can we also look at like how like ridiculously great that we have it? You know, the fact that we can choose, we can literally choose the phone that we're going to use or the phone that we're going to buy. I can go down the street and go to a store and swipe a card and they can say, hey, here's a communication device. Here's a device that you can change your entire life with, or build a business or run a YouTube channel or do this or do that. And like all of this stuff that we have access to. So that's where part of it, I still kind of come back around like, it's just, yeah, I really can't complain too hard.
No, and you're absolutely right, man. Um, I'm jelly because you have fiber and it's not available in my area. I'm a little mad about that, but it's okay though. All right, still got gigabit in there, but I just don't have fiber.
Yeah. And
But yeah,
I appreciate it. I appreciate fiber when I go to work because our network at work is slower. we we don't have everything like go, and I don't even have fast fiber. I don't have Andrew Edwards fiber, okay? Andrew Edwards has like data center US government fiber. I have a very pitiful 800 upload and 900 down. He's in like the thousands, like multiple
listen,
thousands.
there is no such thing as bad fiber. If you have fiber, you got it good, bro. Okay, fiber, and fiber is awesome. I wish we had it in my area, but as such, I can enjoy fast download people. My upload speeds are suspect, so it is what it is. But
Yep.
But yeah, this has been a great discourse on how we as people can never be satisfied with what we have, no matter how good we have it. And something that I like to say is that no matter how bad you think you have it, somebody probably almost certainly has it worse than you do. So you need to think about that before you lash out or be ungrateful about your situation. It could be worse because somebody has it worse than you. You got it pretty good, probably compared to other people out here. So yeah, sometimes we got to step back and just appreciate what we have. And I like to do that every now and then. I like to just step back and be grateful for the situation I'm in and the resources I have available to me because I didn't always have these resources available to me. But I put in the work and now I have additional resources that I didn't have before available to me, and I'm grateful for it because I know nothing's guaranteed, man. But I think some people they have a sense of entitlement, and when they don't get their way, they act like you owe them something, and that is just not the way to be. So
Yeah. Like I said, every once in a while I sit back and I just look at stuff. I'm like, man, I was lucky to be born where I was and take the opportunities I could take. And I remember Chris Rock said this, and it still sticks with me to this very day. The water that we use to go to the bathroom with
mm,
is cleaner than the water that someone in another country has to drink. Like literally the water that we use for just cleaning or waste or what, it's cleaner
yeah.
than the water that other people drink. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine that. It,
Yeah, we have
no way.
we have it fortunate, even though sometimes we have like a bunch of AIDS over here. But we're very fortunate over here in the U.S. and on this side of the world. We definitely have it good for sure. Hey, what's up, Renee? How you doing, man? Good to see you out here. Appreciate you dropping in, man. Yeah, we just been talking about Apple and technology and AI and all the things tonight. So appreciate you dropping in, man. But here's the other thing, though. So I just talked about how I'm grateful for the opportunity that I have and the resources that I have. Because I know nothing's guaranteed. But what I won't do and what I refuse to do is feel bad for me being in my situation just because somebody else is not in my situation, or they feel like I'm like flexing or whatever the case may be, and they want to make me feel some type of way because they don't have what I have. I am not going to feel bad because you are where you are and I am where I am. I am not doing that because I put in years of work to get to where I am. So my thought process is, if you mad because I can do things that you can't do, then that's a you problem. That's not a Viper problem. You need to figure out how you can get to a better station in your life, because there's a lot of times on the internet, like let's say you post like you have, you in hell, you might even experience this trend, but let's say you post like you have like 2 phones or 3 phones, whatever. Somebody, some clown on the internet is going to inevitably come out and get mad at you because you got 2 or 3 phones and they can't afford one, or they don't have the phone that you have, or they have like let's say they have a budget phone and you got an iPhone or a Samsung flagship. They gonna get mad at you because you got the iPhone or the Samsung flagship and they got a budget phone. How is that a Viper problem? That is not a Viper problem. That is a you problem. Figure your ish out. What is going on? Why? What are you doing? Trend on? See, I told y'all, man. This dude is a troublemaker. Like that Viper line that just posted, that was not me. That was Trent causing trouble as he usually does.
I mean, look. What I can say about that is my life experiences, good and bad, have given me a certain level of empathy.
Yeah.
And I can empathize with people. But like you said, if someone's just straight up clowning you just because whatever, it's whatever, you know. It's I know LeBron James got a lot of flack for saying this back when he was with the Heat and he lost, and everybody was so happy to see him lose. And he was just like, yo, you know, you guys can enjoy it now, but tomorrow you're going to have to wake up and still live your life. And I'm going to go back to my life. So that's on you. Like at some point, you got to do better for you. You got to make things happen for yourself.
Yep.
And a lot of people are like, oh, it's tone deaf. It's this. And it's real.
It ain't tone deaf. It's real. Yeah.
It's real.
Now, the reason why they say it's tone deaf is because it coming from him, and he's rich and famous and all that stuff. But it's not tone deaf though. He wasn't born rich and famous. He worked for that. Like y'all know I am not a LeBron fan. I don't care for LeBron at all. But when he said that was real. I'm like, okay, I can work with this. That is real talk. Like, how you gonna be mad at somebody who put in work to get to where they are just because you are not there? If you're not on that level, that's your fault. That means you didn't put in the time to get to that level. Don't be coming at people that are doing it because you refuse to do it. Because if you don't do it, somebody else will. Are you going to get mad at everybody that does the work that you refuse to do? Like, get out of here with that mess. Ridiculous.
That's what they do.
It's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. Yeah, and like Michael said, like you being proud of your own success doesn't mean that you're gloating. You're just being proud of your success, and it's okay to celebrate your wins. I like, you have my permission. Not that y'all need my permission, but you have my permission out here. You all, anybody that's listening or watching this live stream, don't be afraid to celebrate your successes because you work for them. You earned them. You have the right to celebrate your successes. It does not matter how it makes anybody feel. You should not have to dim your light to help other people shine. It is ridiculous. That is some ridiculous-ish. That is some jealousy, envy mindset. And if you have those type of people in your life, you should probably get rid of them as soon as possible because you don't need that or want those type of folks in your life. You don't want folks like that around you because they're going to bring you down every chance they get. And why would you be surrounded by those type of people? So if you got people that get mad at your successes, you need to get rid of them. Get rid of them quickly. Hey. Probably Renee. We working on it.
I remember when somebody said something to me. I think someone said a comment. They were like, man, it must be nice to have 10,000 subscribers. I'm like, you do realize to get to 10,000, I was once at 680 or whatever you're at, right? It's not like I went from 0 and then hit 10,000. No. Like most of the time when people complain about where someone's at, 9 times out of 10, that person has already been there. They've already lived that life.
And this is the reason why I get so mad at creators, small creators, like getting mad at bigger creators or hating on bigger creators. Like bigger creators were smaller creators at one point in their life. They didn't just come into the game being big creators, yo. They put in work to build their audience and their influence. How about you try doing something similar? That's why I did a whole live stream about the Linus Tech Tips clip that he did when he talked about how smaller creators are blaming him for their lack of ability to grow on YouTube. I was like, what? I had to literally sit down in front of the camera and do a whole live stream talking about how ridiculous that mindset is because it's such an inferiority complex. Like, how is Linus's channel has anything to do with your growth? It has nothing to do with your growth on YouTube. Your growth on YouTube is about what work you're putting in. Are you studying YouTube? Are you uploading consistently? Are you taking time on your titles and thumbnails? Are you making quality content? Are you providing value? All the things that we talk about all the time about YouTube, and are you doing these things or not? It has zero to do with Linus and how big his channel is. Nothing. But people want to blame Linus or blame bigger creators. Man, get lost. Myth me completely with this monkey crap, bro. Myth me completely. Seriously.
So Wisdom Inspire says, Trent, let's trade microphones. My Shure MV7 is still in the box. I hate to tell you, but I already got an MV7.
Come on, man. This is the richest man on YouTube. His microphone got microphones, yo. Stop playing.
I still got the stand to it too. So I was just this is supposed to be like the backup, and I need to use it.
I love when you say that, Renee. That's one of my favorite quotes that you highlight. There's a black belt is a white belt who never quit. That's literally what it is. That's real talk.
I'm gonna make everybody mad right now. There's there.
Man looked like he had a press conference. Trenton,
Right?
Trenton, what did you piss off this time? Trenton, we're trying to cancel you this time.
Now that part, yeah, people can, yeah, I understand. Like, yeah, sure, send all the hate mail and all that stuff. I get that part.
Trenton, who are you canceling this time? Who did it? Who hurt you, Trenton? Who hurt you? So, and it's something else I saw recently that kind of made me turn my head like, what? So, as you all know, Taylor Swift tickets are hard to come by, right? And if you want a Taylor Swift ticket today, you're paying like probably 100 to 200 times the price that the ticket normally would be because Ticketmaster sucks. But there are people complaining about how people are out there buying multiple tickets and different things like that. Like legitimately, like I'm talking about people that are legitimately wanting to go to the concert. I'm talking about the retailers. But there are people out here that are mad at legitimate Swift fans for buying multiple tickets because they can do that. Like, first off, she's literally touring across the country. Just because somebody buys multiple tickets to one show or a couple of shows is not going to stop your ability to go to the show if you want to, if you have the money to do that, okay? Why are you getting mad about people buying multiple tickets? Like, there are tickets all across the country for you to see Taylor Swift concert this year if you want to do that. But again, you're going to have to be paying a lot of money. Trust me, I know. Anyway, go into that. But yeah, you can go to any Taylor Swift show you want. You just got to pay like 200 times the market value because that's what it is right now. But yeah. Come on now. Why are we getting mad about people buying tickets? If they're financially able to buy them tickets, hey, more power to them. Hating on other people just because you're not there will do nothing for you. And this is what I don't understand why people get themselves into the situation. Hating on somebody doing better than you is not going to help you do better. So stop wasting time and go do something that will help you do better. I tell you.
It's just a release valve that people use, and we've all been there. We've all said it in our brains and said it in our minds. Why am I not here? Why I didn't do this or this, that, or whatever. But you can't just like let it hold you down for your entire life. Like, it's okay to have the thought, but you got to wake back up to reality and say, well, maybe if I go do this, maybe I'll get it. I remember this is a long way back when the PlayStation 2 was debuting, and oh man, this was so many years ago. But I remember everybody's talking about the PlayStation 2 was coming out. They were talking about the prices, how much it was going to be, and I wasn't even 18 yet, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, this is so expensive! Like, some rich kid's going to get it, and yada yada, whatever." I said to myself, I'm like, you know what? I really want a PS2, and I ended up working for a whole summer carrying golf bags and saved up the money. Guess what? I bought it. Then I was the guy that had the PS2, and everybody was like, man, screw you, dude. You got a PS2. I worked for it.
Yeah.
Sue me.
When the PS5 and the Xbox Series X came out, I remember, I think it was back in the month. So the consoles released in November. So back in September, I literally went live every single day to try to earn the money to buy those consoles. I remember I did that. And luckily, I was able to get both of them on launch day or close to launch day for the Xbox. Not PlayStation, I got on launch day. The Xbox was another matter entirely. But I locked in every day to save up the money to do that. So yeah, like people were hating on you buying stuff for yourself when you put in the work to get that money or get to that point where you could buy that or achieve that goal that you worked to achieve. Like, just don't even come my way with that nonsense. I will make you feel bad. So don't even come my way with it. Cause we too busy out here working and we ain't got time for nonsense, bro. Like, I don't know if y'all understand. Most of y'all in the chat understand because you all are content creators. Content creation is one of the hardest undertakings in life. Okay. I do not need the extra drama of people like getting mad or hating on me or whatever when they're not in the arena. Okay. Most of these haters are not even in the arena. Because if they were in the arena, they would not have time to hate on other content creators because they know that content creation is extremely difficult. So between trying to grow your following and things online with content creation and trying to make a living and trying to become a better content creator time and time again, I ain't got time for the negativity. I rarely entertain it. I won't say never entertain, but I rarely entertain it because it's a waste of my time. I don't like to do it. So whatever.
Yeah,
it's hard out here, yo.
That's why I just move the way I do. I just tell people stuff and like, hey, this is what I think about it. Oh my God, how dare you say that? I don't care.
Hey, he ain't worried about your feelings, yo. He not worried about your feelings. All right. So is there anything that's on your mind that you want to talk about tonight?
I don't know. We covered a lot in the podcast yesterday.
We did. We really did. Again, for those of y'all who are just joining and are late here, me and Trenton are doing a podcast now. We recorded episode 1 last night. It's out on his YouTube channel. It's his podcast. He just asked me to be a co-host, so I happily accepted. And it's called the Tech Rant Podcast. Right now, I think it's just available on his YouTube channel, but I think we have plans later to make it audio across the platforms, right?
Yeah, and I still got to figure that part out, but a couple of people reached out to me on Twitter and like, yo, if you got any questions, just let us know. And so
cool. Okay.
I'll probably be playing around with that over the next couple of days, trying to figure out some stuff, but it's actually doing pretty good so far. 6 out of 10 on my end, and I don't think I've gotten a 6 out of 10 on a video or podcast. That was almost an hour long, so
yeah, I thought the movie was like, wow. I'm like, yeah, that's going pretty good for you over there. But that's pretty awesome, for sure. And it's only going to get better because that was just our first go, and we were trying to still feel our way through that. But it's only going to get better, so you should definitely keep a lock on that podcast.
Yep. But yeah, no, as far as like tech and everything goes, the cool part about it is if you want to buy something new and you got the money, you can buy something new and be okay. If you want to buy something used, you can buy something used and be okay. If you want to buy something refurbished, recertified, you still be fine. Even if you only wanted to spend like really $300, you go on Amazon and get a S21 Ultra renewed for $300 and it's still great. So I don't have too many issues with the way things are going right now. You got plenty of options.
Oh yeah.
Just give me USB-C on the iPhone and we'll be fine.
I love how you just drank the tea after that. Janotis, the pre-order streams will be back this year, man. I do it every year for the iPhone release. Now what I don't do anymore is the iPhone on the trunk stream because I kind of moved my setup and it's not where it used to be, so I don't really do those streams. And plus, I have them sent to my UPS store, so that just allowed me to get the device in quicker these days. But yeah, the pre-order stream is still going on, bro. So whenever the iPhone, where are we on 15 now? It's assuming I get the iPhone 15 because I'm really questioning whether or not I'm even going to get it this year. Because again, buying iPhones year over year, they don't change much. So I don't think the 14, I don't think the 15 going to be much different than the 14. But I still might buy it just because USB Type C if we get that. So yeah.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
What could Apple drop at WWDC that you would insta pre-order?
A HomePod with a display. I have been talking about this for the last year or so. A HomePod with a display would be awesome.
Yeah, I got nothing right now. I literally sat there and looked. I'm like, nah.
I mean, because to me, that would just be like an iPad with awesome speakers, and I think that would just be so damn cool. I don't know why. I'm obsessed with this. I don't know why, but they have not done it yet. So I don't know.
But yeah, I'm pretty much good. I'm actually about to hop off and help.
Oh, he's abandoning Viper. He's abandoning me. Abandon ship. Yeah, I think it's a good place to land a plane. I appreciate.
Yeah, man. I'm checking out, yo.
I appreciate y'all being here, man. Thank you for watching. I know LaShawn's about to start up in half an hour, so y'all should go hang out with holla at your boy LaShawn, as he got the crew over there, so they'll be doing their thing. Oh, next Friday night is ladies' night. It's gonna be the 10th ladies' night. I cannot believe we're on 10 already, y'all. But next Friday night is the 10th ladies' night. So yeah, I'm gonna be joined by a few of my female creative friends next Friday night. So feel free to come on and stop on by Friday night as I hang with the ladies of YouTube. So feel free to come on back. But other than that, y'all enjoy your weekend. Be kind, be safe, and I will catch y'all on the social media. Peace.
All right, later.